How's it going, folks? So we are over a year since the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict has been dropped. I think by this time, nobody should be calling Kyle Rittenhouse a murderer at this point. All the facts are out. You know, the video evidence was even out in real time, just about. Moreover, you had a televised trial. You had a number of bits of evidence that was being released showing that Kyle Rittenhouse committed self-defense, not murder. But yet you have a cult of people still claiming that he is. And the claim that Kyle Rittenhouse is a murderer is just like them pissing on somebody's leg and telling them it's raining. The cult knows they're lying. Their victim of being pissed on knows they're lying. The cult knows the victim knows, and the cult also knows that the victim knows they know. You can't get any more obvious with a lie than that. Yet, the cult still repeats it. Now, I have a strong theory as to why that is. In fact, it's pretty much almost obvious when you look at not only Kyle Rittenhouse's case, but other cases as well. And I'll cover that in conclusion to this video. However, I do want to discuss a few different things that this cult has made the claim on. State lines. First off, it's not a crime to cross state lines. They're acting as if Kyle Rittenhouse flew across the country just to go mow down people. Now, that is not exactly the case. Kyle Rittenhouse's dad lives in Kenosha. Kyle himself, his residence is in a border town on the Illinois-Wisconsin border. Kyle Rittenhouse had a job, at least one, in Kenosha. Earlier that day, prior to the sun going down and the riots starting, Kyle Rittenhouse was going around, I believe, helping clean up the community and repair some of the damage that was caused by the rioters. I'd say Kyle Rittenhouse does have skin in Kenosha. Other people on the rioters' side went further out of their way to go to Kenosha than Kyle did. And yet you will never hear any of these cultists have one word of condemnation towards the people that drew further than Kyle to actually start causing damage, burning down businesses, attacking people, things of that nature, riot things. So the whole state line thing is disingenuous. Onto the rifle Kyle's carrying. Under federal law, you have to be 18 to walk into a gun store and purchase a long gun, NFA Title 1. Anyway, and that's basically rifles and shotguns. Rifles with a barrel of over 16 inches and shotguns with a barrel of over 18 inches. Now, you can have them at a younger age, pending state law and pending, obviously, what your guardian says. Furthermore, it's legal to carry a long gun in Wisconsin at the age of 16. So the weapon charge got thrown out specifically because Kyle was breaking no laws. And yet the cult insists that he be convicted of a law he didn't even break. So that should address that insanity right there. And by the way, AR-15, it is the most popular rifle platform in this country. You know, no, it's not a crime to own an AR-15. It might be a violation of statutory laws in certain states, but the mere act of owning an AR-15 is just really you owning the modern equivalent of, say, what a musket was in, say, 1791, when the U.S. Constitution was ratified, or, say, a lever action rifle in the cowboy days, in the Wild West days, or, a bolt action rifle in the World War One era, or an M1 Garand in the World War II era. You're basically owning what the modern rifle is. Uh, Police carry them. Well, obviously not all the time. They have usually a rifle on their cruiser, though. Personal security details carry them. It is the modern rifle. I don't know how else to put that. It's keeping up with the technology. So, it's not really a crime to own an AR-15. And no, owning an AR-15, or many, it's in my case, it's not an indicator that you're a mass murderer. Claim that he was an active shooter. That's also false, because he didn't fire until he was actually attacked. He actually ran before he started shooting. See, a mass killer, active shooter, whatever you want to call it, they normally start firing first before they start running. So there you have it on that one. Now, the whole he shouldn't have been there or he didn't need to be there. I want to address this as well, because this is one of the things that they keep on saying, well, did he need to be there? Yada, yada, yada. That's wholly irrelevant of whether or not you think he needed to be there. First off, the people who were screaming about he didn't need to be there aren't screaming that all the other people who caused the incident and contributed to the incident got no charges whatsoever. To include the person, by the way, who actually did commit a crime and survive it, and who was the prosecutor's star witness who blew the case, and openly admitted on the stand that Kyle didn't shoot until he until he pulled his own gun, until he pointed his gun at Kyle. But these people who say, did Kyle need to be there? Obviously are ignoring all the violent rioters that didn't need to be there either. And furthermore, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, hey, well, it's not really that much of a limb to go out on, but say, hey, just because a riot is going on in your community does not mean that you automatically have to leave. It may be a good idea to leave, but you know what? It's not a crime to stay there and say, no, I'm not going to stand for this. I'm not going to just sit here idly by while my community burns down. However, these cultists just seem to want that for some reason. But let's say for 1 second that instead of being from Illinois and not having any business in Kenosha, he, say, flew in from Arizona, Florida, or Texas. That's still irrelevant. That doesn't make what he did murder. You know, you don't, because you go to a different area of the country that you didn't really need to be in, doesn't mean you forfeit your right to self-defense. Doesn't mean that you have to sit there and allow a pack of feral leftists to lynch you or maul you or hope that they don't kill you or anything like that. So that nonsense should be covered, but it's not in the eyes of the cultists. Why is that, you ask? I said I was going to get to it in the conclusion at the beginning of the video. The message is very clear with these people. We're going to riot. We're going to burn down the town. We're going to assault people, but even in cases kill people. And if you so much as dare defend yourself from us, we're going to not only go after you, but we're going to go after your family too. And yes, these cultists, some of them have been targeting Kyle Rittenhouse's mother with their rhetoric at bare minimum. And there's a good chance that they've probably been giving death threats to their mother of Kyle Rittenhouse. And from what I understand, they had to actually move and stay at an address that was not publicly disclosed. Which, by the way, yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse's bail should not have been revoked, and it thankfully wasn't by the judge, because the prosecutor wasn't going to keep that information confidential from the public like they should have, had Kyle Rittenhouse's defense attorney handed that information over to the prosecutor. And by the way, with all the conduct this prosecutor in this case had done, I should say the misconduct, it is a shock that the prosecutor himself is not in jail for this. I mean, questioning somebody's Fifth Amendment rights in court, as well as a number of other things. I mean, it is disgusting that we live in a country where our constitutionally protected rights are slowly being ignored. But this cult is not a fan of our constitutionally protected rights. It's about their cult dominating over everybody else. And that is the long and short of it. So, whenever you come at me with this Kyle Rittenhouse is a murderer thing, I've automatically lost any respect for you whatsoever. Because you've shown you're not worthy of respect. Thank you all for watching. By the way, everyone, you have the comment section and you know it. Let me know what y'all think. And take her easy out there and have a great day.